You're finding positivity because you're feeding your soul. You're doing something for you. When you find that positivity, you're actually just going, okay, I've recognized this. Wow, I wouldn't have thought. Once you recognize, acknowledge, then you can deal with it.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Hello there, dear Deb. How
Good
are
morning.
you? Good morning. Good afternoon. Good
I
evening.
know. Good evening. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, Moira.
It's Moira and Deb here with another conversation to help you get deliciously motivated, or have
Absolutely.
the mindset to help you get deliciously motivated.
Yeah, you can listen to us, but if you don't, by crikey. Yeah.
There's something up with that.
Yeah, it's your fault. Yeah.
Good to be with you again, my dear. So before we dive into what we'd like to talk about today, we like to just do a wee check-in and rate ourselves and encourage our listeners to rate themselves on a scale of 0 to 10. 10 feeling really stressed, like you got to work on a lot of stuff, you got a million things going on, and 0 is nothing bothering you at all, completely at peace. So where would you say you are, dear Debz?
Right here, right now, I'm a 4.
Okay.
However, prior to you, I would say a 5, and yesterday I was a 7, and the day before I was a 9.
You're climbing down the ladder.
Today, right here now, as we record, I'm a 4.
So 4 is pretty good.
But that just shows you how days can change.
Absolutely. And we've had this conversation before, because I remember one of our conversations where you actually changed, right in the conversation, we were talking about how you were at a 9, and then very shortly thereafter you were way down the scale.
Yeah.
And it's, you know what, the truth is we all do this. Everybody can go from a 10. You're not going to go from a 10 to a 0 immediately.
Oh, imagine if you could.
I think that might hurt your
boring.
Head. Yeah, that might hurt your head.
There'd be no lessons you'd be aware of. Yeah.
For me, I'm thinking I'm about a 3. I have a few things on the go, a few changes happening for me, but it's all good. Like it's just things
Manageable.
Yeah, absolutely. Manageable is a great word. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can be a 3. I'll be a 4.
All right.
So we're a 7 in total.
Yes. 7's a brilliant number.
I was going to say, I quite like the number 7. That's my daughter's favourite number. That was her sporting number. Was always 7.
Well, 7 from a numerology point of view is all about analysis and spiritual meaning. I like the spiritual meaning part of that. So there you go. See,
analysis sounds too much hard work for me. Analysis. But
no, when I say analysis, it actually is like finding the meaning of things. So
okay.
But it's like from a very spiritual space.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Moira, the genius who has an inside a wealth of knowledge of a variety of things.
It is a variety of things for sure.
Yeah.
So,
which actually
a great what? Quizmaster.
Quizmaster. Yeah.
Well, maybe. So today's topic, actually, that segues right into it really nicely. We want to talk about finding positivity during negative times. And this point when we're recording this, there is what could be called negative stuff going around on the planet, basically.
Well, I guess that the thing is, what is negative times? What is negative? Because your negative can be different to my negative, which can be different to your husband's negative, which can be different to my daughter, 19-year-old negative. So our negatives are different.
Absolutely.
But right now it's actually a global negative.
There is a global negative stuff. But here's the thing. I completely agree with you, and I'm glad you said that it is all about our own perspective, our own awareness. It's also because our past dictates what we see as negative and positive, right? Yeah. Because that creates almost like a filter that we see or judge what we feel through. But the other part of it too, and there's this thing, and I'm going to share that with our listeners. My coaching clients all laugh at me when I say this, but I believe that negativity has too much Velcro. You know what I mean?
Liking that Velcro bit.
Because you get stuck there. And so
it picks up the fluff.
It picks up the fluff.
Picks up that bloody fluff. Yeah.
But it is. You think about. You see something on Facebook, and then people start sharing it and start saying, "Oh, you got to watch this conspiracy theory thing." That actually was a whole round of that not so long ago. In people that I knew, it's like, but don't send it to me because I'm just going to delete it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I deleted a few, things that didn't resonate with me.
Yeah, and so right there is falling into perfect alignment with what you just said about it being your personal thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, but here's the other part too: is if I don't want negativity, I'm not going to put any of my energy on it, because what we put our energy on grows.
Well, I think the other thing is there's a couple of things I would like to say. So for one, I don't believe you can actually run from negativity, but it's wise to have that to come in to recognize what's important to you.
Right.
And I look at it like Wonder Woman, back in the day, she had the gold thick bands that she used to go, pa-chow, pa-chow. Well, she never said that. If people could see me sitting here doing that, pa-chow, pa-chow. Okay, just visualize I'm putting my Wonder Woman barriers up right now for the people who are listening.
Creating the force field.
Exactly. And so that pa-chow, pa-chow is actually part of, I'm not going to let that negativity get to me. It's just bouncing it back to say, this is your shite. You're throwing that at me. This is your energy. Here you go. Done. And that's that part there. But the other thing is, I just would like to go back and reference when we get older, we say to ourselves, what's a message that you would say to your 15-year-old self? Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing of the negativity, when I talked about your negativity could be different to mine, to your husband's, to my daughter's, if I'm at high school and a friend hadn't messaged me, although we didn't have phones then, didn't give me a hug at the end of the school day until the next day, and just jumped in the car and went away with their parents or went away with somebody, and I didn't see them, then I would go, oh, what have I done? Right. What have I done that they haven't acknowledged me, or they said goodbye to Jane beside me but not me, or any of that stuff. Whereas now, if someone jumps in the car and goes somewhere or doesn't message me, I'm totally okay with it. So the 40-year-old person now is different to the teenager then. And I think that's our negativity that's come through. But we hold on to, like you say, that Velcro, we hold on to that. Well, because they kept getting in the car and didn't say goodbye to me, and there's three of us standing in a row, and they only said goodbye to the first two people, and I was always the third, I now feel rejected. And all through life now I'm wondering if my relationships with people are actually based on that. It's that whole core belief, or that core learning or teachings of what we've implemented at age 15 to who we are now comes through.
Right. But so the thing that think that is a really important, and to this point about staying present and undoing that stickiness to the Velcro, is I really encourage, and this is something I do with myself, is to check in with the story. Because sometimes the perceived negativity is because I'm listening to a story that was true when I was younger, right? And so then it's like, wait a minute, is that really the truth? You know, did that person just really diss me or ignore me? Or am I telling the story and looking through this whole thing through that same filter?
Well, our stories are what makes us, but also breaks us.
That's right. Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
But the other part in here too that I find very important for us, I'm talking us as human beings, is that we live in polarity. So there is negativity and positivity. There is one and one side and the other.
Yeah.
We are all going to experience all layers of it. You know, I'm thinking right now of the David Hawkins, I think it is, that did the calibrating of all the different emotions. And
I didn't really, I recall
power,
it, but not
versus force, I think is the, And so the point being that so let's say, for instance, that you're calibrated at depression or hopelessness. That's pretty low on that scale. These would be called negative, right? Negative emotions is but then this is something that I think is really important for us to all look at as we see the headlines and see what's happening on the world about people getting angry. Well, to a lot of people that's negative, but guess what? It's coming up the vibrational scale, up the emotional scale from that sense of hopelessness or panic. So when we see anger, rather than squash it down and say, no, that's negative, that's bad, we don't want to hold on to it, but we could recognize this is movement, and this is why it's so important. From that, if you think what I said about the Velcro thing, don't get stuck there. If you're feeling angry, great. Celebrate the fact that you've got some movement on that scale. Blast out, stamp your feet, punch a pillow, scream out loud, whatever you need to do to just cleanse it, feel it, and keep going. What's the next better feeling? What's the next better emotion? Because that's what we're talking about, is how can we find positivity regardless of what's going on around us, right? Whether it's negative or positive.
I think the real and it seems to be the core, the crutch of what we talk about is acknowledging.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
if you're not
so much.
if you're not freaking acknowledging it, you're going to miss it. So finding positivity during negative times, if you acknowledge it and go, oh, here it is, and not go, I hate that, just go, like what you've just said, oh, negativity, acknowledge it. Oh, okay, I can label that negativity. This is what it is. Now I can change it. Or I can sit in my shit. And it's about acknowledge. Once you recognize, acknowledge, open your eyes and see, then you can deal with it. But if you've got your eyes shut and you're not acknowledging and you're not seeing it and you're not recognizing it, that's where you're stuck in the sewer, or
that's where the Velcro really got a hold on you.
Yeah.
But, just as you said that, a Winston Churchill quote that I often like to share is, Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, keep going.
Yeah.
Right? If you're going through the mud, keep putting one step in front of the other. Make sure you've got a good pair of welly boots on. And
I've just bought a pair of welly boots, actually. But even just saying keep going, that's exactly it. Because if you're going through the mud and you're trudging through it, you get stuck, and you know how hard it is to take that next step when you're actually stuck, and your foot comes out but your boots stay behind, you know. And that's a shiter. That's yuck, because then you look and you're like, do I go back and get that boot, or do I keep walking? You know?
That's the perfect analogy if you think about it, because if you allow yourself to just not stand with your full weight, even just keep one after the other. It's you know, it's really funny. I had a new client started last week, and she's got all these questions that she wants to unpack, and what about this, and what about this, and maybe I should do this, and maybe I should.
Oh my gosh.
And so I let her just, you know, dish it all out.
You're very gracious.
I know. That's how I roll.
You're like,
I let people
stop asking the bloody questions.
No, you know what I did was I let her tell me everything, and I suggested that she write bullet points down.
Yeah.
But then I said, pick one thing, just one, and do something. One step. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
One action item, one step. That's it. Because the truth is positivity starts to swirl when we are actually doing something.
Doing action, taking action. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's action in your mind and action in your body, which are also two different things, because sometimes you go, oh, I'll do that. And you think you've done it in your mind, but you haven't actually done it in your body. And then you get to the end of the day and you go, oh, I didn't do that. I thought I did that. And then you beat yourself up because you didn't do it. Then you're like, oh no, now I've got to do it. And that whole mind flip, please tell me I'm not the only one who does that. but that's that whole action. But it is, you've got to take action, and it is, you know, and I look at my gumboots, my wellies on the floor near me, and I just go, whether you take a big step or you take, you know, half a centimetre, or, well, if you're talking half a centimetre, you can't even get your foot out of the mud. But, you know, it doesn't matter what step you're taking or how big it is, it's actually just about moving forward.
That's right. That it's moving forward. And then let's say that you have an intention, you know, you want to make some more money, or you want to meet somebody, or you want to engage a new client or do some kind of project. So it doesn't matter what it is. This actually applies to everything. The thing about it is that you take that one step, however big or small it is, and you can, as you're doing it, it's almost like a little bit of a biofeedback kind of thing, is that as you take that one step, you can be asking yourself, does this take me towards it or away from it? That can be number one question. Does this take me towards it or away from it?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is, how does this make me feel about myself? And why I was thinking of that, Deb, was what you just said about if I think I've done something in my head. I've done that so many times where, in fact, I've done it where I've had conversations with people.
Oh, how many times have you replied to someone's text message on your phone, and then they go, oh, I haven't heard from you, and you go, I thought I did reply to you. And I said, I replied to you in my mind. Did you not get it?
Well, so I haven't done that with text. I've actually done it with conversations. Like
Really?
I in my mind, I'm going to tell that person about this. And then I give up. I give it up because I've done it now. And then there'll be the amount of times it's happened is quite funny. It's like, oh, so between my husband and I, it's become a thing of like, oh, you mean I didn't have that conversation?
Oh, it didn't come out my mouth. Oh, that was an internal.
That's
okay,
right.
I get it now. Yeah.
But so, because that's actually part of the point of your subconscious mind does not know the difference between you really doing it and you thinking you're doing it. Which actually is very powerful if you think about it.
The more I've studied, you know, I've been in my business for 14 years and helping people's minds. The more I've studied the mind, it is like your body is very powerful. I get that. Your body is very powerful, but your mind is holding your body together. Like the moment I actually recognized that and realized the true power of your mind and how you can change things just like that, is just, I wish I knew that as a teenager. I wish I knew that as a young child. And going back to that, I know my parents said that to me, but I was like, whatever, it's my body that I need to look after, not my mind.
Right.
You know, but it is about reading your mind, stimulating your mind, keeping you going in your mind, to keep your juices flowing, to keep you taking that step. Or when you get stuck, questioning, you know, like you said, is it going backwards? Is it sideways? Is it forward?
Mm-hmm.
Where are we going from here?
Mm-hmm.
Our mind is so powerful, conscious or unconscious, because the unconscious is just another whole
episode topic.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
I think to your point, you're absolutely right. The mind is unbelievably powerful, but I think we need to step into the role of the conductor of it. I just got this image of a conductor of an orchestra. So now we're going to hear from this section, and now thank you, and over to this section. Well, the reason being is because to that point where you were saying about something that your 15-year-old self believed or spoke or thought doesn't serve the 40-something version, and vice versa, actually. But it's to call into question and be present to, is this belief, word I'm about to say, choice, concept, pattern, is it in alignment with what I'm working towards or what I'm wanting to achieve or create or be even, right? Because that, and that there's a lot of positivity in that, but this is what can actually create a sort of environment of negativity, is if we don't check in with what's the landscape of your mental focus, right?
Yes, and I think that's the stuff. I think that's the stuff, is that it's just going back and reassessing, and it's that whole acknowledging again. Acknowledge this, go back, check, reassess, sidestep, front step, whatever it is. But actually, it's just constantly just going back to checking and checking and checking.
Yeah.
But when I say that, I think about people, and if you could just see what I've just got the dog about to come in here, and the dog is in one complete state, and the dog's just coming in as I say this now, and it's just going to go crazy. So we're just going to wipe the dog as I go back to podcasting. When I go back to, I don't even know what I was talking about now. Moira, pick me up. Go. I just got distracted by the state of the dog that's been on the farm.
We were talking about the checking in with what is it we were taught, like the story we're telling. What is happening in your mental landscape? Well, maybe that's why you got distracted by the landscape.
Yeah, my landscape. I'm sitting on the farm. The dog just came to the door in a complete state. I don't even know what I was talking about, but I do know it's about acknowledging. I'll just say that. I don't even know what I was talking about. It was something clearly.
And I think that is the point, is that to just acknowledge, is that belief something that I'm bringing forward, and acknowledging, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but stay present to what is it. Oh, she's just remembered. What is it that's there? What is it that takes me toward? Remember that to me, that's a really great navigating question, is, does this take me towards it, away from it? And you can use that for anything. Choice, decision, energy.
Yeah. And well, one of the things I was thinking is, I spoke to a client yesterday and I said, I would like you to, when these emotions come up, can you log them down and just write them on your phone and your notes or anything, log them down to what they are, and then go, what was going on around me? How much
Yeah.
food had I eaten? What had I eaten? And she said to me, oh, that's a lot of work you're asking me to do. And I thought, shoot, I'm not. I'm just asking. Let's find, unless she's going to talk to me 24/7, so I can find out where her emotions at. I just, and it was interesting. And I just said, look, this will just take you a minute, not even a minute. When you start feeling these emotions, just go, okay, what's gone on around me? Did I receive a text message? Is the sun not shining? And acknowledging what's around you, so we can get to the cause of whatever it is. And so when we say this to people, I want to say this is not a lot of work we're asking you to do, to think about things, acknowledge. This is a 1 minute or a 2 minute process.
Yes.
So the purpose of us saying that is actually, this is not a homework that you have to find a quiet space, get rid of the kids, get rid of your phones, find a space, with your pen and paper, and get your water at the right temperature, and get all that comfy chair, and spend 20 minutes getting yourself into the zone. This is just stop right now. Where are you at? Like,
exactly.
When I say acknowledgement, it means stop right now and just spend that 30 seconds or that 1 minute.
I love that you brought that up, because first thing I want to say is that exercise that you just said, I've done that with clients. I've had clients do that, and actually to break addiction, because that to me is one of the best ways to break addiction, is the awareness and acknowledgement. There's where I was. And then
as you write down what you've been spending your money, I don't know where my money is. Well, write it down. Where's it going? Oh, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have time to do that. Well, how are you going to know where your money's going if you don't write it down?
But do you know something else that's really sad for the people that say, I don't have the time to do that, or, oh gosh, that's an awful lot of work to do.
Yeah.
That really, I have to say, breaks my heart, because you are actually communicating to yourself that you are not worthy.
Not worthy.
You are not worthy of you spending that 30 seconds. And something that I've done, this is something I do a lot of times. I actually don't do it so much now, because I think I've just got a shortcut of the acknowledging part. But when something would happen, like if I was out in a public place, or something happened where, an emotion came up, or a mindset piece or something, and I felt like I needed to deal with it later, I would take the tips of my 2 fingers and tap 3 times on my forehead. This is my third eye area.
Yeah.
And it's just to anchor it. It's like, okay, I'm just like putting it in the bank to say, I'm going to journal about that later. I'm going to sit and, ruminate about it later. But that gives me freedom, because otherwise you get caught in the loop, right?
Yeah. And gives you freedom to carry on.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
To unrip your Velcro and carry on.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can do things like that. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be out in public. You can be in the middle of a meeting. It doesn't matter. You can do those things. And so that was just to your point, Deborah. It is not a big thing if you got to be sitting on your Zen pillow with the tea made properly and the water and right.
Yeah, well it is, because sometimes clients say that. They go, oh, I don't have a comfy chair to sit on. I'm like, you don't have to sit on your bed, sit on the toilet, go into the shower and analyze. Like, shower's a great time for me to overanalyze things, to dig into things. But yeah, you don't need to have that comfy chair. And of course you've got a comfy chair because you'll have one comfy chair, but you don't need that whole water at the right temperature. But yeah, I was quite sad when I felt her say that. I myself went, oh gosh, you're right, you're not worthy of this. It was more like, oh my gosh, this is only 30 seconds every day, or every moment you start feeling these emotions. Just jot down, had a call from my mum. But like, I'm not asking you to write down, overanalyze everything on that call into that message, but
it's enough to anchor, because that's my whole thing of that I've done too, is I encourage people to just write a bullet point. You don't have to write a big diary about it, but just like you said, this is what happened. But it's enough to anchor. It's anchoring it in.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. And when you write that, we're talking about finding positivity during negative times, that yourself, you're finding positivity because you're feeding your soul. You're doing something for you. When you find that positivity, you're actually just going, okay, I've recognized this. Wow, I wouldn't have thought.
Right.
I'm writing that down. Like I'm in a funk place and I'm writing that down so you can actually go back and you can see it and go, when you see your patterns, you laugh. You clearly laugh. I laugh. I
do too.
I laugh and I go, oh my God, are you serious? I've wasted all that time over that. Yesterday, and our mind can do, we were sitting in a cafe yesterday and the gentleman beside me started coughing. Now I'd watched him eat, and he was a very fast, I'm being very gracious here, he was a fast eater.
Okay.
A fast, loud eater. And so when we were leaving, he let out this big cough. Now, he was eating spicy chicken wings because I could see they were spicy from what I'd watched. And then so he obviously got it, when you eat too fast and it goes up the back of your nose, or maybe it's just me, and you're, and you're having a good old cough. And so he let out this cough, and all of a sudden my face went into no filter, like, oh, I know what you've got that virus. And you're near me, clearly it's not, but then the lady at the table that I got up near looked at me and she made a comment to me about oh yes, we've got to protect ourselves or something. So my face was definitely an unfiltered face, like, oh my gosh, he does have the virus. Going down, well, it wasn't. Right. But that uncomfortableness, the point of me saying is the uncomfortableness of watching him eat that the food and how he reacted to it. Actually, the finding positivity was actually connecting with that woman at another table, how we both had a banter, and right. I said, I think his food was too hot. So even though, so it calmed her down as well. So it was that whole complete stranger interaction that made me giggle when I got out of that cafe. And his chicken wings did look mighty fine, I would say. But I'm pleased I didn't get them by the way I was watching him eat them. But it was part of that whole banter with somebody completely different. So when you change your energy, you get to open up to other people around you as well that can help you in ways that you may not necessarily do.
And that's beautiful. I think that's a beautiful example to bring up about the fact here is that we are all creating our own reality. So everything that we're sitting in, so there's two things there. I believe that everything that we are presented with, that we find ourselves in, we wouldn't be in it unless we could get through it. So right there, that kind of undoes some of that Velcro, right? If I sit and say, whatever lockdown or restrictions or stuff that I have to deal with, I wouldn't be here looking at it, doing this stuff if I couldn't get through it. And if it wasn't for my best good, or I hadn't created it or co-created it, right? So right there, that stops a lot of that story. But to your point, I really like that, because I also believe that there's nothing random about something like what you just shared. There was some energetic bonding piece that you needed to do with that woman. The catalyst may have been how that gentleman was eating, or what it was he was eating.
I don't know if she could hear him. Her table was close. I think the whole cafe could hear him, and I could see him. And so people who know me will be going, oh, Deborah, how did you refrain from not saying anything or giving him that my mother look? That public look without any words.
But do you see what I'm saying though? It's like there's you could have slid down with Velcro into the how dare you do that, and this is wrong, and blah blah blah. Or you could, and right in your storytelling of it, you shared with us the part that you didn't like or that you thought was not okay, but then you actually were able to see the positive, the connection, the giggle.
Yeah.
As soon as we start giggling, we know that we're into positivity, right?
It's a giggle. Well, that's exactly it, because you can't be in a funk if you're laughing. You can't be in a funk.
Yeah,
Your whole body can't, but your mind can't. And even if you're saying, I don't like doing this, and you feel it, if you say that with a smile, even just change the word, I reference it quite a bit in workshops. People say, I hate cleaning my house. And I go, okay, say, and you can feel that tenseness, their shoulders slumped over, and you can feel that real crippling energy. And I say, right, I'd love you to say, I love cleaning my house, but try and do that whole crippling energy again. And they're like, oh, that's easy. And they can't do it.
Right.
And it's just changing that one word, I hate doing this, or I don't like doing this, or I have to do this, to I love cleaning my house. And you try and say I love cleaning my house, and with that crippling energy, you can't, and you burst out laughing. Yeah. So even just that sort of stuff, if you have to do something, just by changing I love to, even if you don't love to do it, just say it, and your whole energy can change.
Yep.
See, I work on gratitude. I work on gratitude a lot.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
Thankful, gratitude,
appreciation.
Insight. Yeah, appreciation. Yeah. So when it comes to that perceived negative energy, I go, how is that serving me? How does that look like? What's the benefit, to me of this? And sometimes you can just go, so my dog came in, for example, and interrupted me completely, and I had to get you to take over. Like, I completely lost where I was. Yeah. So how does that, and that could be seen as a negative, but how did that serve me? Well, it showed, to my listeners that, to our listeners, that I have a dog who can distract you at any time, but also allowed you to have a speak up, and it allowed me to think about what I was saying and be aware next time, don't look at the dog if you're in flow. When you can see the dog coming, turn the other way and continue talking. But I mean, there was a lot of positivity that can come out of that. So it's whether it's just one or two benefits to you or benefits to someone or anything, it can just, that alone, that gratitude can just shift everything very quickly.
Absolutely. Now, to your point, and I believe you said this earlier about we can't ignore negativity. I think that you said that earlier, didn't you?
You can't run from, you definitely can't run from it.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I this is what I do for myself, is I will never deny it's happening, or that negative things happen, or are going to. But I like to see myself going to neutral as quickly as I can. So as that I'm not, number one, that I'm not maybe putting more energy or expanding what is the negativity. But then from neutral, I can move into positivity way easier than if I tried to move from negativity, right? So this is the thing of it. I accept negativity is there. In fact, we were talking before we started recording today about the racial atrocities or racial prejudice situations that are happening in the States. And I saw a quote from I think it was Will Smith quote that said, words to the effect that racial prejudice is not increasing, it's being reported more.
Oh.
Yeah, so see, that really falls into alignment with what I'm saying about the Velcro, because it's like,
I got my erectase from that. Yeah. Because that is finding the positivity out of the negative times right now, because it's actually acknowledging and saying it's still happening, it always has happened.
That's right.
We're not running from it, but we're recognizing it now, we're acknowledging it now.
Yes.
And that is the key to moving forward, is they're acknowledging it, going to neutral, and then jumping into that positivity. That's a nice quote from Will Smith.
Yeah, I like that too. And it is so to your point that there is always something that we can be grateful for, even in the rougher times, something that you can appreciate, something that you can say thank you for, even if it's the smallest thing. And that also starts to raise you into positivity. So regardless of the type of times we're in, I do believe that it's always possible to see the light, to see the things that uplift you or that make you feel happy. Even SS, this is something that I ask my clients to do, is ask themselves, where's the joy? Right now, where's the joy?
Yeah.
It could just be petting your dog.
So 2 things, just like one thing, where's the joy, and then another one, and then another one, and before you know it, 2 or 3 will make you go, I can't sit in my funk anymore.
Exactly.
I can see it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you haven't dismissed that. I just want to say, it doesn't mean you haven't dismissed that negativity, but you're actually just gone, okay, ping, ping. Yep, I can see it. Done. Ba-dum, move on. And you can go back and revisit it if you would like, but just that, where's the joy? What's the blessings? What's that? Just a couple of those can just shift you like that.
Totally shift it. Absolutely. And so that's the thing, is to accept negative stuff happens. But accepting doesn't mean you're keeping it or that you're going to wallow in it. There is always something to find good in it.
Well, there's 2 sides to everything.
Absolutely.
There's 2 sides to everything.
Absolutely. And which side do you want?
People only choose to see one side sometimes. Yeah.
That's why I say the Velcro. Let's rip the Velcro off.
I like the Velcro. And then, there's a Velcro, I'm just going to say, there's the Velcro that you put on your walls, and you have a picture and you can put one side up and then it's the other side. And I have a garage door opener, just thinking about the Velcro, and we have 2 of them, and they've both got the different Velcros on and so if somebody takes the garage door opener out of the car and puts it onto the wall, it falls down. Because it's the wrong one.
Wrong one.
And so the Velcro can be the wrong one.
That's a great way to wrap this conversation up. That thing that you're stuck to could be the wrong thing.
That's right. Oh, I've really enjoyed today finding positivity during negative times. I say that. I think I say that every time. I go, oh, this is going to be a goodie. I do. I love them, and I love that. Look, people. Now, listen, people.
People.
Listen up. If you would like us to talk about anything, or if you've got a challenge that's going on, please ask us. Yeah. How would we deal with it? Use the Facebook group. Use this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know, because we can, if you put something up, we can bang it out for next week. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about, because between us both, we've got a wealth of knowledge on lots of things, and we're here to find
talk about anything.
And we can talk about anything, even the dog. Even the dog. And I keep looking back to the spot where the dog was, which is not now. It's just funny. Like he's going to appear. Yeah. So thank you. I would say, I know you're going to ask me to rate myself. I would say I feel a 2. I feel there's some work I would like to do. Oh, it's going to take so long. No, I would say a 2. I would definitely say a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to put myself at a 1. I love sitting and actually about this whole thing about the negativity, positivity. It's always about choice. That's my thing, is like letting go what's holding you back, what's keeping you stuck. And that just lights me up, talking about these kind of things.
I'm just writing that down, choice and letting go. I'm sure we've done podcasts on this, or
maybe
check that one. Well, maybe it's more. Anyway, thank you, Moira. Thank you, deliciously motivating mindset listeners. I appreciate that. Thank you, Ben, to my dog who came in and joined us on the call.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, dear Debz. And thank you, listeners. Like Debz said, please, and if any of these conversations that we have brings up a challenge or some area or issue that you need some help, please do reach out to either one of us privately. We're here to help and support in any way we can also.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you, my dear Debz.
Thank you.
Bye, listeners. Bye.
Bye.